Nestled in the port district of Buenos Aires, La Boca is a dense neighborhood of working-class roots and colorful tin-decked houses. It is the geographic and spiritual birthplace of Boca Juniors. On match days, the narrow streets swell. Thousands of fanatic supporters, a collective force known as La Doce, march toward the stadium in a sea of blue and yellow. Rising abruptly out of the low-slung rooftops is the source of their devotion, the Alberto J. Armando Stadium, known universally as La Bombonera. The locals here share a common proverb about this colossal structure. La Bombonera no tiembla, late. It doesn't shake, its heart beats. For decades, visiting players have reported a deeply unsettling sensation. Before a whistle is blown, they feel the ground beneath their cleats literally moving. Above them is an absolute sensory assault. The deafening drums, the relentless chanting, and a blinding paper storm trap the opposition inside a cage of noise. It sounds like a poetic exaggeration, a myth engineered by passionate fans to intimidate rivals. But the movement of this stadium relies on verifiable structural physics. To understand why a building moves, we have to look at the constraints of 1938. Architect Victor Solčić faced a severe spatial limit, fitting a massive football stadium into a plot of land barely larger than a single city block. This 3D schematic demonstrates the problem. A standard, sprawling oval footprint simply would not fit inside the highlighted property lines. To make it work, Solčić compressed the design, building upward at a severe angle to create a steep D shape. By highlighting the sections, you can see the anatomy of his solution. 3 towering curved tiers wrap around the pitch, abruptly cut off by a completely flat vertical wall of boxes on the remaining side. Solčić frequently carried a box of chocolates to project meetings, and observers noted the stadium's uncanny resemblance to the gift. The nickname La Bombonera remains today. That steep design had an accidental acoustic side effect. When sound waves originate from the crowd, they don't diffuse into the open sky. Instead, they bounce off the severe angles and that sheer vertical wall, plunging directly back onto the pitch. By solving a real estate constraint, the architects engineered a flawless acoustic trap. The layout concentrates the noise of 50,000 fans until it feels like double that volume, creating a wall of sound that suffocates the opposition. Beyond the noise, the crowd's physical impact extends to their absolute synchronization, specifically the relentless rhythmic jumping of the hardcore fans known as La Doce. This waveform chart visualizes a periodic dynamic load. Every time 50,000 fans land on the concrete simultaneously, they apply a massive repeating spike of force to the structure. Watch what happens on the chart when that rhythmic jumping matches the natural resonant frequency of the concrete. A second waveform, representing the stadium, aligns perfectly with the crowd's energy. This resonance causes the physical movement of the structure to double. Rather than collapsing, the stadium survives because its reinforced concrete skeleton was designed to be flexible. It yields and bends under stress rather than snapping. Combined with the synchronized dynamic load of the crowd, the building visibly sways. This creates the tremors felt in the locker rooms and the vibrations on the pitch. The myth holds up. La Bombonera literally breathes and flexes under pressure. It is an engineering marvel that converts human passion into measurable structural resonance. Today, the stadium stands as a record of Argentine football history, eternally linked to Diego Maradona and his championship run in 1981. That intense devotion continued through the modern era, with icons like Juan, Román, Riquelme, expanding the club's fanbase far beyond the stadium's physical limits. And that success has created a modern crisis. Boca Juniors has millions of supporters worldwide, but a home that holds just over 50,000 people. Membership subscriptions have been closed for years. Expanding capacity is difficult because of the surrounding neighborhood. Directly behind the vertical box section, the residents of Del Valle Iberlucía Street have historically refused to sell their land to facilitate construction. This leaves the club with a difficult choice: forcefully acquire the land to expand, build a massive new super stadium on a nearby highland, or stay inside their imperfect aging structure. Moving to a modern facility might solve the capacity problem, but it risks abandoning the specific neighborhood that forms the working class identity of the club. Ultimately, La Bombonera's legacy is defined by this rare synergy between design and devotion. It remains a masterpiece of engineering that requires the collective rhythm of its fans to achieve its full, terrifying resonance.